Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica and it is time for another crafting podcast. So I think in January or February I said I was going to be better about putting up crafting podcasts, and I have since gotten very busy doing other things. So it's been a little while since I've put up one. So I do apologize if you enjoy those videos. I am going to try and be better about it. If you don't know what a craft podcast is, it's just where I share all of the fun things that I've been working on lately. So that can include knitting, crochet, sewing, quilting, cross stitch, spinning yarn. Any of those things are going to be included in this podcast. And today I do have a special feature for you as well. Now before we get into the video, I always get questions on this crochet blanket that's on the back of my chair here. That is called the Gem Blanket, and it is by Wool Thread Paint. She does have that pattern available on Ravelry, so you can check it out there. It was a really fun pattern to make, and it has a ton of granny squares in it, but honestly it really didn't take me that long. And you do a bunch of granny squares and then you do some rounds, so you get a break, and then you do a bunch of granny squares and some rounds. So it's a really pretty pattern, and I always get questions on it anytime I do a video, so I just wanted to address that before we got started. And then the quilt right here on my quilt ladder is called Cherryberry. It has strawberries and cherries. I made the original one in all pinks and greens. It's really cute. And then I also wanted to do a patriotic one. So this one has reds and then blues. So it's like blueberries and strawberries. So I thought that would be really cute. And you can do it in any colors that you want and have fun. So you can check out Cherryberry. That is also available in my store. And I did just want to mention those first before we got started because I know I would get questions on those. Okay, so we're going to just dive right in because I have a new category to share with you. This one is called fabric. So if you've seen my most recent videos, you will know that I just released my very own fabric line. It is called Bloom, and this is what it looks like. And it's so fun and colorful. I've been having so much fun sewing with it. I also released a couple quilt patterns to go with it, so I'll share those here in just a minute. But I did want to just say a big thank you for all of your love and support on this fabric line. I think we sold out in about 48 hours. So it was really popular. You guys are so supportive. And so our family just extends a huge thank you to you for that. If you were unable to get a bundle, I am so sorry. I do have more lines in the works already, so there will be more fun things coming down the road, but we are self-publishing. I've had a ton of questions about that, and yes, we have decided to self-publish. I was working with a fabric manufacturer before. They were a lovely company. I love them. We are still really good friends. However, we just had different styles and we were just having a hard time getting it to come together. And it wasn't bad in any way. It was just different. And so honestly, we just kind of let it go. We parted ways. We're still the best of friends. And I just kind of let the fabric designing go for a little bit. And then this year I was like, you know what, I'm going to make an effort to get that happening. And so I decided to go ahead and self-publish because it gives me a ton of freedom. I can do whatever I want. I don't have someone telling me what we need to do or what kind of prints I need to do or what timeline I'm even on. I can just do it all myself, and so it affords me a lot of freedom. On the flip side of that, it's also a lot of work on my part because I'm doing it all myself, and then my family is helping package all these bundles, so it is quite a bit of work, but we are enjoying it, and the fact that you guys sold us out so quickly made it all worth it. So thank you so much. Now, I'm not sure if there's going to be anything left by the time this video goes live, but when we put in our order, we did order extras, so we did go ahead and list those because we knew we had several people that had asked for a bundle who just weren't able to get one during the pre-orders, and so those may still be listed on the website. I have a feeling they're probably already going to be sold out. The other thing we did was we added yardage. A ton of people requested yardage, and so we did add a few SKUs of yardage to the website, and we were able to add that into our big order. So there may still actually be a little bit of yardage left. So if you got a bundle and you wanted some yardage with and couldn't get it, go check it out, see if there's any left. If there is, let us know that you already purchased a fat quarter bundle. We can combine that shipping and put your yardage in the box with your fat quarter bundles. So we learned a lot from this release, and going forward, we are going to be offering yardage. The other thing I'm thinking about doing, so to keep it simple for this one, we just did a fat quarter bundle and we did some finishing kits for the Bloom quilt, which I'm about to show you. Going forward, I'm thinking I might want to do it a little differently. So instead of doing a fat quarter bundle, I was thinking about offering kits for the quilt release that goes with the fabric. Let me know what you guys think about that, or maybe we can try and do a combination of both, some fat quarter bundles and then some kits. So let me know what you think about that idea. Would you prefer to have a fat quarter bundle because you can kind of use it with anything, or would you prefer to have something a little more specialized, a kit to go with the quilt pattern that I am releasing? Let me know that in the comments below. We will be looking at all those comments just so that we can make sure that we are offering you what you guys want the most. And then we also will probably be having finishing kits again, and we will be doing yardage as well for the upcoming lines. So we learned a lot from this sale. It was a lot of fun. You guys were so supportive. I really want to say thank you. And then don't forget to leave a comment below to let me know what you would like to see going forward. I want to make sure that we are hopefully meeting your needs as well. So that's it for the balloon line. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. If you would like to see it in detail, I have a whole video dedicated to it. I'll link it somewhere up here on the screen, and you can go over and watch that video and see all of the lovely prints that we released in that line. So we're going to move on. I'm going to go ahead and just move right into quilting since we're already talking about fabric. So you know we've been doing pillows of the month, and I don't remember which ones I showed in the last one, so I'm just going to go back a couple months. So they started releasing in January. It's currently June when I'm filming this, and so I will be showing the July pillows here. So you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming in July. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. Here is the April pillow. This one was a cute chicken. And then here is the backing on that one. And for this one, I used a bunch of fabric from my stash. This was all Bonnie and Camille fabrics. I want to say it was from their vintage picnic lines, older lines, and there might even be a couple other prints in there. Like I said, I like to dig into my scrap bins for these, especially little parts like these guys or like those little star points on the chicken. And then I believe the binding is actually from a line called I Love Us that came out this year. It was a Valentine's line, but it was a really cute red gingham. And then I did add my little label. These are from Ever Emblem, and I have a whole stack of these, so you'll see these some more here on these pillows. I'm putting them on all my smaller projects. It's a really good way to label them, and it's super easy. It just goes right into the binding. And I do have a video on how to label your quilts here on YouTube, so you can just search my channel for how to label a quilt, and it'll show you how to do those little ones in the binding. It'll also show you how to do the bigger ones that I put on the backs of quilts. Okay, for the next one, here is May. And this was a cute little flower. This is the flower that we used in our bloom quilt, so I'll show you that in a minute. And then on the back side, I used two different prints for my backing because I just didn't have enough. I was working with strike-offs from my collection, and so I was just trying to make it work. so that's why they're different, and it's, I think, kind of cute. And I also added a label to back of this one. And then here is the June one. I went ahead and did a really fun chunky Dresden for this one. There is a template that comes in the pattern for it to make this cute. I wanted it to make it look like a flower, not so much a Dresden blade, but like a really chunky flower. So I think that turned out cute. And then on this one, I actually did a different backing. So it's really stretchy. I did a backing that was actually some fabric I bought for a tablecloth, and it's like a woven fabric. So it is really stretchy. So I try and be careful with this one so it doesn't get distorted too much. And I did do a top stitch around the outside edge just to try and hold everything in place because it is so stretchy. I also added a little tag to that one as well. And this one again used some of my bloom fabrics. These are actually strike-offs, so the red is actually a little bit different in the actual line, but most of the prints are similar. And now we're going to do a little bit of a sneak peek for our July pillows. So in July, I usually do two different options because I know there's a lot of people not living in the US, but I always like to do something patriotic because I do live in the US. So I try and do two different options for you. That way you can pick and choose. You can also make both. In the pattern, the more US one is red, white, and blue, and the one I'm about to show you is just reds and whites. Like if you're in Canada, you could also change those to any color that you wanted. So we're going to start with the more United States one, and that is this one right here. It's got this cute sawtooth star with a little flag inside, and then I did some Irish chains on the outside of it. I was thinking that would be really cute. You could do a whole quilt of just this block and have a really fun patriotic quilt. On the front, I did use fabric from my new bloom line, and then I did use a couple of low volumes from my stash because my fabric hadn't come in yet, and again, I was still sewing with my strike-off, so I was trying to make it work and adding in. This one right here is from the Liberty line. I used this on my Liberty quilt last year. It's a Moda print, and I love it. It's just a cute, sweet, low volume print, so I think it was perfect for this. And let's see if you can even see that. There you go. That's a little better. I think my camera was blowing it out just a little bit, but it makes it just really cute. I think it gives it a little bit of texture. And then on the back, I used a cute star print. This is from Minnick and Simpson. Again, this was a line that I had in my stash. Did I put a label? I did. And then it's hard to see, but there's a label there. Same Ever Emblem labels. And then I used a nice blue denim gingham from my Bloom fabric line. So this is the more patriotic United Statesy version. Has anyone ever said that before? United Statesy? I don't know. Okay, here's the second version. It's similar but different. I still wanted to do something that was starry, and I did mine in red, white, and blue, obviously, because I wanted my two pillows to match. They look super cute when they're on my couch together. And this is just a traditional Ohio star. I have, again, those Irish chains in the corner there. You could alternate these blocks. They are the same size. So you could alternate the flag and Ohio star blocks if you wanted to do a quilt with just those two quilt blocks. I think that'd be really cute. I used another low volume from my stash, and I believe that's a Minnick & Simpson print. And then on the back, I used that same star fabric just in a darker blue. Again, this was a Minnick & Simpson print. And you can see right here probably that I have a seam. I actually didn't have enough of this fabric to do a full panel right here, so I just sewed a couple together. I'm really trying to sew through my stash this year, and so you know what, make it work, and people won't really notice, and still super cute. And then on the binding, I used a light blue gingham. This is also from my Bloom line, and then there's that label on the edge again, and I just add those labels into my binding when I'm done. It's just super easy and fast, and then I still have a label on my quilt. So here again is pillow option number 2. Okay, so let's move on to some of my larger quilt patterns. With the Bloom fabric line, I released 2 quilt patterns. One is called Bloom, one is called Shine, and we are going to look at Shine first. Shine is just a super easy, beginner-friendly sawtooth star quilt, and I'm going to insert some video here so that you can see it a little bit better, because it's always so hard just to hold up quilt projects in a video like this. But basically it's just a sawtooth star, and then I added some corners to it. They don't go all the way in, so they create this secondary pattern right there in between the stars. And I just think it's super cute. Now for this one, I did do a low volume background. I think it would be very nice with a solid background as well. I would normally use my Moda 9900-97, but for this one I actually used my low volume print that comes with the Bloom line, and I did add that as yardage into our shop as well. I know we'd had a lot of requests for that when we released the line, and so we did add that in. So if you got a bundle and you would like to use this as a backing fabric, it's really nice, low volume. It doesn't overpower your actual colors from your blocks. It just kind of stands back there, but it gives you just a little bit something more. And I think it just makes it really nice and cozy. For the quilting on this, I did a swirls, like a really loose swirls and stars pattern on it. I thought that would be really cute. And also, the whiter that your quilting is, the sort of more soft and cozy your quilt is, the more dense your quilting is, the quilt can start feeling a little bit more hard or rigid, and I don't love that feeling, so I like to do a little bit looser quilting. For the backing fabric on this, I did the seed print that comes in that bundle. We did add yardage of this one as well. This was one of the most popular prints. It's perfect for backing. It's just cute, it's fun, and for an all over backing, it's just perfect. And then for the binding there, I used the green gingham that comes with the line, and then you can see that little label right there as well. I was kind of in a hurry when I was doing this one, and I'm like, I'm just going to add a cute label into my binding, that way I could just be done. These star blocks are nice and big. I wanted something chunky and fun, and so this quilt actually finishes at 64 by 64. So it's a great size quilt, perfect for throwing on an outdoor front porch swing or maybe tossing over the back of your couch. It'd also be great for picnics. You could also fold it and lay it at the bottom of your bed. All right, let's move on to the next quilt that was released with this line. This quilt is actually called Bloom. It was the signature quilt to go with the Bloom fabric line. And I just had envisioned a bunch of fun flowers in little pots, maybe sitting on your front porch or in your windowsill, something like that. And so that's where Bloom came from. This quilt features nice big blocks as well. I'm into big blocks these days, I guess, you guys. Everything I'm doing are like nice and big. It features a nice chunky flower sitting in a little squatty flower pot. And then the alternate block is 2 flowers that are in cute little baby pots. And so I alternated those. I added some simple sashing in between, a few borders on the outside, and we have the Bloom quilt. The Bloom quilt finishes at 76 by 76, so it's a decent size quilt. It's fun and colorful. You can make it scrappy. You can have those flowers be all different colors. I used the fabrics from my Bloom collection, like I said, and then for my background fabric, I used my Moda 9900-97. So one thing special that I did do on this quilt was some quilting. So I decided to do floral quilting, which I've never done before. I drew it on a piece of paper first, kind of did it with my finger on my quilt, and then I honestly just sort of went for it. I do freehand quilting on mine. My machine cannot do the programmed quilting at this time, so I have to operate it. I'm learning a ton. I'm having so much fun, and this quilt was a challenge, but also a lot of fun. And once I got in the groove, it was actually quite easy. And I basically just did a little swirl in the center and then just went around it in the petal pattern. Then I echoed those petals, and then I just went off and made another one. And I just did that all across the whole quilt, and I think it turned out so pretty. And there are probably a ton of mistakes in there, but when you look at the quilt as a whole, you actually wouldn't even notice. I can't even find my mistakes in there, and I know they're there. So I love the pattern. I'm definitely going to be doing that one again. For the backing on this, I used my Aqua Floral Backing Finishing Kit that was available. I don't know if there's any kits still in my shop, but you're welcome to check. We did have a few extras. This one is one of my favorite prints. It has a light blue base, and then it has beautiful larger scale floral in aqua and whites and greens, and it's just so fun, and it's perfect for backing. And then for the binding on it, I used the green gingham binding that came in that kit. I also used the tiny blooms in light blue for my borders on that, and then I used the green gingham as well for the skinny border. And then we did add those prints as yardage options in our shop as well if there's any left. For the backing label, I added a label from my Sweetwater tag subscription. I've talked about that subscription a lot. We get one every month, and they always send out different ones. Sometimes they're large, sometimes they're smaller, and sometimes they're seasonal. So I usually have something perfect that I can pick out to add onto the backs of my quilts. So if you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite subscriptions. Both the Shine and the Bloom quilt are fat quarter friendly. I think I forgot to mention that with the Shine quilt, but they are fat quarter friendly, and I believe if you are careful with your fabrics, you can get both of those quilts out of one of the Bloom fat quarter bundles. That's what I used. And then I have one more quilt that released on Monday. This one is called American Pie. This also uses my Bloom fabric line, and I just pulled out the blues, the aquas, there's a light blue in there, and then a red. And then I did also use that tan little dot low volume as my background fabric as well. This quilt was a lot of fun, and again, another big block. These are traditional granny square blocks, but I made them kind of oversized, and then I did a fun star sashing in between, so it brings it all together, and I think it makes it super fun and patriotic. Now, I did mine in red, white, and blue, but again, you could do this in anything. I also think this would be absolutely adorable in holiday fabrics, so I may have to redo another one of these when the holiday season comes. So stay tuned to see what that looks like. And if you guys make it in any other colorway, I'd love to see it as well. It's a pretty fast, beginner-friendly, fairly generic color-wise quilt. You can do it in any color that you like. I just wanted to do something a little patriotic for the season. Again, with those larger blocks, this quilt finishes at 73 by 73, so it's another great size quilt, perfect for your front porch, picnics, your couch. You can toss it over the back of, or the bottom edge of your bed. I love folding quilts up and then just laying them as like a runner along the bottom of the bed. And if you don't want to make an entire quilt, here's a little pro tip for you. You can make one row of a quilt and then just baste it, bind it, and then just lay that along the edge of your bed, and you still get that look, but you don't have to go to all the work of making an entire quilt. So I have been known to do that before. You can also do that same thing and use it as table runners. You could make one of the blocks, use it as a pillow. So get creative with your quilt patterns. You can use them for all kinds of things other than just making the quilt on the cover. For the backing on this one, I used another one of our aqua background kits. So that was the aqua hibiscus. It's that large floral again. And then I did the denim gingham binding on it. I think it would also be really cute in the red gingham. I just didn't have enough fabric and I'm working with what I have here, but the denim gingham was also a perfect fit. And then I did do a label on the back, of course. Again, this was from my Sweetwater tag subscription. This was one of their 4th of July-ish labels. So I added that to the back of the quilt and I framed it with a little bit of red gingham and then a denim floral print around the outside. I think it turned out really, really cute, and I just love adding labels. When I first started quilting, I always forgot to label my projects. I have a ton of quilts that I've given away that do not have labels on them, and it makes me really sad. So now I just try to be better about labeling all of my quilts. So that's the American Pie quilt. Again, if you wanted to see any of those quilts, you can check out that Bloom fabric release video. I show Shine and Bloom in there. And then I also have a video that just released on Monday for the American Pie quilt as well. Now I do have one little sewing item to share with you, and this was a bag that I released here on YouTube. This is called the Sherpa Tote. Tote, and it is this soft fuzzy Sherpa fleece. You can get this. I got mine at my local craft store and they had different colors, so I still need to go back. They had a pink one. I really want to make a pink one, so I need to go back and get that. But it's just a cute little lined project bag. There is a pocket in there as well. And this fabric was from a line called Sophie by Brenda Riddle for Moda. And I've had this in my stash for a while and I've just been waiting to use it, and I thought that would be such a cute lining for this bag. For the handles, I used the Cocoa Knits leather handle kit for it. I thought that would be really cute. You could also add any kind of straps that you wanted to it, but I just like the combination of the leather with the Sherpa. And these handles are actually removable, so if you need to wash this bag, you can remove these handles, wash it, and then put them back on. This bag is decent size. I want to say it's about 15 by 13. Look at the pattern because the actual dimensions are on there, and I just looked on my cutting mat really quick. And then it does have box bottoms, so you could change that. You can make it as deep or you know, skinny as you wanted. You could also skip the box bottoms altogether if you want. The key to that is just whatever you do to the outside, do to the lining, and then they'll fit together perfectly. So that's the little Sherpa tote. That is a free tutorial here on YouTube, so you can go over and check that out. All right, that's it for my quilting. Let's go ahead and move into cross stitch. So for cross stitch, I don't actually have a whole lot. I've been doing our pillows of the month, and that's about all the time that I've had, especially with the fabric release. So I'm just gonna go through those really quickly. So here is our April pillow of the month. It was this cute little chicken. It matched the pillow I just showed you. And then on the back, we did an adorable little patchwork. There's a little ribbon there. And then this is a pocket for scissors, or I had binding clips on there. And then I added a little tab. This was from my Moda fat quarter bundles. I just folded in half, so I have a little tab on the back there, but I think it turned out so cute. Here is the May one. Again, it matched with our little chunky flower there, and I did a patchwork border around the outside. And then on the back, I did some stripes along with another pocket in the back here. I'm liking doing the pincushion and pocket on the back. It makes it really functional, but then it stays really cute on the front. And then I added a little leather label that I had from Etsy. I actually bought these for my knit hats, but I thought, you know what, I bet I could add that as a little tag on one of my cross stitch pillows. And by the way, the instructions to finish both of these and all of the cross stitch pillows that I'm releasing are included in the patterns. And then I do have usually a video if I'm doing anything special. So make sure to watch the videos for our pillow of the month releases, because I do show how I finish everything there. And then the June one is right here. This one is super cute. I did cherries. And then I finished this in a cute little round squishy pillow. I think it was really a fun way to finish, trying to find different ways to finish these pillows for you. And I think they're going to be really cute once we put them all in a bowl and have them all displayed. But then also they're semi-functional because you can turn them over and use them as pincushions. And then here's another sneak peek for our July. Again, I did do 2 different pillow variations. So we've got, let me get them the right way. There we go. We've got the more patriotic United States one, and then we have the more generic patriotic one over here. And both options do come in the pattern, so you can make either or you can make both of them, and you can do them in any color that you want. So to finish these, I thought, you know what, I had this red trim. This is from Fat Quarter Shop. It's Riley Blake, and it's like a bias trim that you can put on the outside of pillows and things like that. And so I show in the video how to do this, so you're definitely want to check that out. But I will say that it was kind of hard and it was a little bit messy. So if you look at my little pillows a little bit too closely, you can see where my stitches are a little bit not perfect. So I did use the same backing fabric as I did on my big pillows, though. This is that Minnick & Simpson star print, so I thought that was really cute. And you can see they're not perfect, but I think they did still turn out really cute. And then when you sit them together, you would never even notice that. So I think someone once said, if you can't notice it from a galloping horse, you're all good. So that's the motto that I'm going to be going by for these little baby pillows. But I think they turned out really cute. As with the previous pillows, I'm using Quillt Beautiful Beige as my background fabric here. It is a 14 count Aida. It's really easy to stitch on, so if you're a beginner stitcher, these are perfect. They're also obviously really small little projects, and you can finish them however you want, so they hardly take any time at all. Like, you can do one of these in just an evening while you're watching TV. So the floss on them is all DMC floss as well. I'm trying to make it so it's easy as possible to get the supplies you need to be able to do these. And if of course you want to swap it out for other other floss that you prefer, you could do that too. And I am currently releasing them individually. This goes for the quilt pillows as well, but the patterns are releasing individually as PDFs. And then when all of the months are released, we will release them in a bundle. There'll probably be a slight discount to that bundle, so keep that in mind if you want to wait. And they will be available in PDF and in print versions. But that is our little July stitchy pillows. And that's all I have for cross stitch right now, because that's literally all I've had time for. So let's go ahead and move on to my knitting and crochet. And so now we're going to go ahead and move into knit and crochet. I do have some bag releases for that, but they're crocheted bags. So I figure I might as well just put it all together. So this might be my all-time favorite bag I've ever made. I have you can see it right there on the ladder behind me. That was my first granny square tote. I did that a while ago. It was a free video tutorial here on YouTube. You can also get the written pattern in my store if you prefer that as opposed to watching videos, or you can use them together. That one was a lot of fun. I loved it so much. But then I did this one, and this one, let me hold it by I have a project in here, so that's why it's looking kind of heavy. This one is my Crochet Sunburst Tote bag, and this one is so cute. It was so much fun to make, and it's so colorful. I used those same Cocoa Knits handle kit on it, and I actually am really glad that I did that because I am putting a lot of things in here. I lined it so the Cocoa Knits handles are a little bit stronger, and then they're through the lining fabric, so they aren't really pulling on the crochet too much and stretching it. It's actually pulling on the lining fabric on the inside. So if you're going to be putting a lot of weight into your bag like I am, look at all that stuff I have in there, I highly recommend lining your totes. That way you won't be pulling on that crochet fabric. Now what I have in here is a ton of the yarn that I used to make this bag. I'm working on a bunch of larger granny squares, so I have several of them made. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I think I'm going to put them together in like a square tote type of thing. And so here they all are, and if I don't do that, I might just make them into pillows, or honestly I could use them for doilies. I have one that I could put right there. I have one down there by my little mini fridge on my little table there. So these are actually kind of fun just to have around your sewing room. You can set things on them, but I do think I'm going to try and sew these together in either a pillow or maybe another bag. So I'm still working on another one. It's partially done. I was at Knit Group and I only got partially a way around it with the green. So that's that project, but I did want to share this little tote bag with you because this is so fun, and honestly, I just love having this hanging in my room because it's so colorful. The yarn that I used for this is the Lori Holt Chunky Thread. I got mine at Fat Quarter Shop, but I do believe you can find it on Etsy and a few other online retailers. And I just ordered a ton of different colors that I liked, and then honestly, I threw caution to the wind and just mixed and matched. So I don't have any formula for what to put together. I just grabbed colors that I thought looked good, and then I bordered them all in the cloud color white. You could do any outside color you want. I do have a tutorial on how to make this crochet sunburst here on YouTube, and then the pattern includes instructions on how to put it all together in a bag and instructions on how to line it. And then to go along with that, I did make a little matching zipper tote. I have a pattern for this as well. This is so cute, or not tote, I guess it's just a little notions bag, but I keep all my crochet stuff in there, scissors, crochet hook, and all of that. And so this is really cute, and I just keep it right in that bag, and it matches perfectly, and it's a perfect little notions pouch. So I do have a pattern for this, and I have a tutorial on YouTube on showing you how to put all these together and how to put this bag together as well. All right, my next bag that I released, and I have a project in it to share as well. This one is the flower tote. I again did a video tutorial on this little flat crochet flower here on YouTube, so you can check that out. And then the instructions for the bag are also available in my store. And this is so cute. I just did a bunch of these flowers. You could also do this all one tone, but I thought the pink and white were cute together. And then I added rose to the top and bottom, and then I did an oval bottom for the bottom of this bag. And I did use a rather thick or heavy interfacing for the lining on the inside so that this bag keeps its shape. So it's actually, if you'll notice, I can kind of hold it up like this, and it holds itself up. And then here's that lining. It's that same Sophie print by Brenda Riddle that I used in the other bag. And then again, I'm addicted to these Cocoa Knits handles. I think they're perfect. They're so fast to add, and they're also really nice and strong. And so I like doing them on these crochet projects because the crochet, if you do crochet handles, you can definitely do that, but they do stretch out over time, and these don't. I love that. And if you attach it like I did in the video, you'll see that you can have it into, this is going through the interfacing and the fabric, and so it's got a lot of strength to it, and it's not pulling on the crochet. So I love that. Okay, so we're gonna talk about what's inside here because I've been working on this for a little bit. This pattern is called Flatiron Shawl by Tony Lipsey of TL Yarncrafts. I'm sure you've all heard of her. And I am actually using a variety of skeins of yarn for this, and I'm just mixing and matching. So I started out with this skein right here. This was called Macaroon, and it's by Legacy Fiber Arts. And this next one I went into a pink, and I added mohair actually. So can you see the halo? Anyways, the mohair is driving me crazy, so think twice before you add it. But every time I work on this shawl, I'm like itchy and sneezing. So hopefully I can wear it when it's done. But I did move into a lighter pink color. This one was, I'll have to look and put it up on the screen. Here is what I have left of it. I'll have to look it up and let you know what this yarn is because I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's literally one of my favorite colorways ever. It's the same yarn I used to make my knit shorts out of, which I showed in a previous podcast. And if I can find it, I'll put a picture of them here. But oh, they were so cute. The yarn is so soft, and it's just a nice, subtle speckle, pink speckle color. And then my mohair is a light pink, so that kind of added to that. My next colorway that I'm adding in is this beautiful hot pink colorway, and this is what the yarn looks like. And then I'm mixing it with this mohair. So the mohair is a lighter color, so it's toning it down just a little bit. It's almost giving it a little bit of a marled look. And the hot pink is from Emma's yarn, and it is called Shut the Front Door. So this is just growing, and I believe at some point we start getting smaller again. So right now I'm still in the growing phase. The only issue I'm having with this is you can see probably, I was doing good somehow down here, but then somewhere in this pink section, this edge right here is just getting a little bit bumpy, and it's like every time I get to the end I can't tell what my last stitch is. So some of them it's like it has more and then less and then more, and I don't even know if that's coming across on camera, and hopefully when I block it you won't be able to tell that that happened. So I'm trying to be as consistent as possible, but for some reason whenever I get to that last edge I'm just like struggling. So but anyways, here's kind of what it looks like. The colors are going to be a lot of fun. I actually don't know what I'm going to do after this hot pink color. I might try and find something again that goes down to a little bit of lighter. Maybe I'll go for like a lavender or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. I have a lot of hot pink yarn sitting over here that I can pick from because I got a bunny box from Sprinkled Fibers, and it's really cute. There's a ton of colors in there that I think will match really well with this. So here's what the bunny box looked like. They're really fun, bright, but yet still kind of pastel vibe colors. So I really love her aesthetic. I also got her advent kit for this year, so I can't wait to see what they would do with those. It was like a gingerbread theme, so that'll be a lot of fun, and I'll share that on social media as I open those. But this is my bunny box, so I'm sure I can find something fun to add to the rest of this shawl. The other thing I wanted to use these for is possibly another one of those Sunburst totes. I think this color scheme would be really cute with those sunbursts, and then again probably a white outer, so very, very cute. And then my next project I have is in a beautiful bag that I got from Joji Locatelli, and she sells handmade leather bags on her website. This bag is way bigger than I actually thought it was when I got it, but it's this beautiful navy suede, and then it has these nice leather handles, and the quality is so good. My only issue with this bag is it's super slouchy, so anything I put in there, I mean, it just doesn't really hold its shape, which is fine, it works. But look, I have like a whole sweater in here, guys. So these bags are ginormous, so I really, really like this bag. I was also a little bit worried that maybe the blue dye would come off on my yarn, and so far it's been fine, so yay for that. Now, one thing I wanted to share with this project, it's currently not on needles because I'm getting ready to seam the pieces together, but I originally was stitching it or knitting it on these lovely pink Licka, whatever, pink blush needles. They're a nice wood material, so they feel good in your hands, and of course they're pink, so I love that about them. And apparently our new puppy loves that too, because one day I was watching TV and I could hear him chewing on something, and I thought he was chewing on a bone, and it appears to be that he was chewing on my knitting needles. I actually had my project bag sitting on the floor. My sweater was still on the needles at the time that he was munching on these. And anyways, he didn't hurt my sweater, thank the Lord, but he did eat my needles, so I had to get replacement needles. And you can get replacement needles. You can get them from pretty much anywhere online, and also my local shop, Piney Creek, has them, and saved my little behind. But anyways, saved his little behind, I should say. So I should have known better, because he loves sticks. Like when we go to the park, sticks are probably one of his favorite things, and I'm assuming these were just like some of the best sticks he's ever found. They were all over the floor, and this was a little while ago, so he has survived. I don't believe he had any you know, anything stuck in his tummy, which would be bad. So advice to you is keep your wooden knitting needles away from your animals if you have them. And thankfully he wasn't harmed by it, and I was able to replace my knitting needles. So there was that. So the project I have in here is called Stay Cozy. And it is meant to be used with the yarn I'm using. So I'm using the called for yarn and everything. This is by Shaina Billow, and it is using Chelsea yarns. So I saw this on Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like the most comfy, cozy sweater ever. It is taking me a hot minute to make because I'm sort of doing it in phases. I'm also using mohair in it, and the mohair has been bugging me lately, you guys. So hopefully I can wear this, but it's going to be really cute. So these are the two yarns that I'm using. Both are from, again, Chelsea yarns. And here's one that hasn't been skeined up yet. It's in the Spring Chicken colorway, and I love this colorway so much. It's so pretty. And then this is kind of that blue boucle-y yarn. I can't remember what she calls it on her website, so I apologize, but it's a base that they have all the time, so hopefully you'll be able to find it. And then they have different colors. They might even still have the Spring Chicken, but she releases them all the time. So here's kind of what my project state is in right now. And so it's a little bit it's not in timeout. I just have to do a little bit of math. For the pattern, it has you knit 2 identical panels until you get to the armpits, and then they're different for the back and the front. So instead of knitting 2 separate panels, I actually cast on in the round and just went around and around. That way I could just keep knitting, and I didn't have to knit, purl, because I just didn't want to do that for the whole thing. So now, when I split for the armholes, I actually had I was off on my stitch count by a couple stitches on both sides. So this is the back panel on this holder right here. So I think what I'm going to do is just increase this back panel by the number of stitches that I need. It's only a couple, like I only need like 5 stitches or something. And so just so that I can get it back to the correct stitch count, so that I can then seam the shoulders together. So, and then I can just add the sleeves on and just keep on going. So it's pretty quick. I love the fabric that it's creating. It's soft and squishy. I do think it's going to be really warm. So I was thinking at one point about making it like short sleeves so I could wear it in the summer, but this fabric is so thick with the mohair that I think it's just going to be too hot. So I'm probably going to go ahead and do full sleeves and just save it for the winter. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. I am making quite a bit of progress. All I have to do, like I said, is seam up the shoulders, do the neckline, and then do the sleeves. And then my last project I have is in my drawstring. This is my Drawstring Squishy 3 bag, I think. Again, I grabbed some leather straps from my local craft store, and I just sewed them right into when I added the lining to the outside panel. So super easy. You can find this video here on YouTube. And the fabric for this one was a poppy cotton. I think it was called Wandering or something like that. I'm sure it's out of print at this point because I made this bag a few years ago, but it was a really fun line. And then on the inside I have a fun hat project. I am using, this is the Frozen colorway by Chelsea Luxe. She released this during Vlogmas one year. I saw it. I was lucky enough to see it and grab a skein right when she released it because, you know, they go out of stock and then they don't make them anymore. So this one is really fun colors. It's very similar to the Spring Chicken actually. It's just a little bit less yellow, I guess. It's more pinks and blues, and there's some browns in there. Anyways, I'm making the Mussleburgh beanie hat pattern. And so this is how far I've gotten. I've been working on this for a very long time. partially because I grab it only if I'm going somewhere where I just need mindless knitting. Like I'll take it a lot of times to our knit group so I can visit and then just knit, 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 knit. Also partially because I'm getting bored. So I'm probably a little over halfway or maybe halfway. And how it works is you cast on from the edge of the hat and then you knit, 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 knit. So here's the end. And then you decrease again and then you shove it up inside itself. So it's like a double thickness hat, which I think is going to be great. And I'm really excited for it. It's just I'm kind of bored now. And so just knitting, knitting, knitting is like, how much longer do I have to do this for? So I'm honestly kind of thinking about just starting to do some ribbing and just doing a brim on it. My only concern is it's pretty wide, and I think it's like that so that it can account for the fact that you're going to double it up. And so I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think below. Should I keep knitting and just follow the pattern, or should I just go ahead and put a brim on it and like call it a day? I'm just worried it's going to be a little bit too big because it is quite wide. It's also a slouchy hat, so you know, there's that. But anyway, so here is the yarn. I do love the yarn, and I know I'll love this hat once it's done. I'm just a little bit bored with it right now. So, you know, there's that. I did bring it to a movie. I tried knitting in a movie theater in the dark, and I'm working on knitting without looking. And so I thought that would be the perfect opportunity to do that. And I did really good until I dropped a stitch. Once I dropped a stitch, I could not pick that stitch back up, and I felt it drop, so I know I dropped it. So I had to just put it down, watch the rest of the movie, and then fix it when I got out. The other thing that I have that came with it, because it was a sock kit, is I have this cute pink yarn. And so I was actually thinking about possibly doing the other half, not the other half, but maybe doing a band of pink so you'll see it when you fold it up for the brim, and then keeping going. So I don't know, what do you think about that? I think that'd be really cute. If not, I'm sure I can use this pink in another project, but it did come with the yarn. Okay, I'm just gonna break into this video because I got a fun delivery today and I thought it would be fun to add it to the video. So it's kind of like an acquisition. So I'm an affiliate for the Antique Candle Co. and they just sent me a whole box full of all their new fall scents. So I thought I would share it with you. And I do have a coupon code. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. So I'll put it right here on the screen for you. So if you use my coupon code, you can get a discount. So, but I'm gonna just go through these with you. So this first one is called Autumn Woods. And let's see. It smells kind of florally, actually. No? Okay, you should know before we start this, I'm like literally the worst scent describer in the world. So I can tell you that I like it. I can tell you that it does smell a little bit woodsy, a little bit, not campfire-y, but definitely like pine or something. Next to that is a little mini. This is Warm Caramel Crumbles. I like these little minis, and they do, okay, this is not my favorite one. It smells like baking, and sometimes not baking cookies, but like that kind of spice scent, and I don't always love that. But it's not horrible. It's just kind of not my favorite. But I love these little minis, and you can buy like little mini samplers from them so that you can try different scents if you want, and then you don't have to commit to like a whole candle. But I do love these candles. They are soy-based candles, so they aren't bad for you when you burn them. This one is, ooh, apple butter. Love this one. This one is really, it's like fruity, but like cozy somehow, so I love that. Definitely a little bit of apple. Okay, the next one is called Fall Harvest. This is another mini. This one smells like butter. Or cookie dough, cookie batter, cake batter. It smells like cake batter. I like it. I don't know if that's what they were going for. Okay, this one I've actually had before. This is called Sunkissed Citrus. This is literally one of my favorite ones. It smells a little bit like orange, maybe. Definitely citrus in there, and it smells like sunshine and oranges, if you could do that. But I love that one. Spiced Cake. I can already tell you I may not love this one. Yeah, I don't love this one. It's got that same, I don't know what the scent is, but it's like that spiced, not spicy like cinnamon, but like spicy like you're cooking something. Not my favorite. And our last one, and this one is called Pumpkin Spice. I know it says spice, but I actually kind of like it. It smells like you're cooking like pumpkin bread or something. Yes, it smells like you're baking like a loaf of pumpkin bread or pumpkin pie. I love it. So there's not a whole lot of spice to it, I don't think. There's just a little bit, but that one is really lovely. So they might have some more new scents coming. I'm not sure. They usually just send me a random sampling of some of the things that they have coming out so I can check them out. So that's what I have, but I would definitely check out their website. I know they have a variety of different scents. And if you don't like these kind of autumny type of scents, they also have like fresh linen and lilac and other scents like that all year long. They also have an antique candle like collection where they take antique containers that I'm guessing they find them at thrift stores and stuff, put their candles in there and then sell them. And then they also have refill packs as well. And I do have a refill pack that I need to do because once these are done, I will usually clean them out. We've been using them as drinking glasses because I love, for whatever reason, drinking out of these. But you can also buy their refill kits and make new candles so you're not wasting the packaging. They are glass, high quality. So I love that about this company as well. So I'll put all the information on where you can get those here on the screen. You can use my coupon code as well so you can get a little bit of a discount. All right, back to today's video. So I think that's it for all of my current projects. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for your patience if you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you joining me for this podcast. If you like these kinds of videos, as always, make sure to thumbs up and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming fun. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another crafting podcast. I forgot to tell you my name. That's why they're different, and honestly I think it's kind of cute. Okay. I love folding up quilt patterns. All right, that's it for my quilting. Let's go ahead and move into cross stitch. I'm just going to show you our pillow cross stitch of